Jose, I gotta tell you, this Sunday was not a fun day for me. I don't know how it was for you, man.
Oh, it was a brutal one. It was absolutely a brutal game to watch. I had a bad feeling since about 2 hours before the game when I saw some NFL Network coverage of Chicago, of downtown Chicago, just being completely destroyed by rain. Once I saw that rain, I knew it was going to be a physical game. And yeah, it turned out to be exactly that, low scoring, physical. And unfortunately, our Niners drop their season opener in Chicago, and Justin Fields and the rest of the Chicago Bears were able to slide into a week 1 victory, man.
I think part of the problem was our defense was a little bit too physical. Shit that we get basically we just can't afford, giving up 15-yard penalty after 15-yard penalty. We were up 10-0 though at one point in this game. That's what makes it even more annoying because the 19 unanswered points by the Chicago Bears. And I know that the major excuse is the rain. Oh my God, we had the rain, the monsoon. Both teams had to play in the rain. One team started with a 10-point lead. I think it's almost worse that the Niners lost that game given that they had the advantage.
Yeah, no, everything was starting to look okay. I mean, we knew it was going to be a slow start to the game, but when Deebo got that touchdown, we were able to even put up a field goal. And like you said, it seemed like the defense was really in control of the game. And then that second half, the offense just couldn't get anything going. Nothing on the run game. Every time it seemed like Trey Lance was trying to, at least get it a couple of seconds to look downfield. It looks like there was already pressure in his face. So I think, yeah, the offense was really disappointing there in the second half. And I know not having George Kittle in this type of game really does affect how you end up playing in the game. But that's still no excuse. You should be able to go into Chicago and against this off. I mean, Chicago had those 19 unanswered points, but I'm not going to say Justin Fields had a great game, or I'm not going to say that the Chicago offense just was lights out, because they weren't. That was a problem. That's the problem with losing this game. Chicago was not good on offense at all. And the fact that we couldn't even muster anything in that second half was really disappointing. And I don't want to hear the excuse of, well, we didn't have George Kittle, and, this is kind of a work in progress offensive line. That's not a good excuse. The offense should not look just that bad in the second half.
What if I told you PFF said that our offensive line had a positive pass blocking grade? Does that surprise you?
It does. It really does surprise me, because it just seemed like Trey Lance never got into a rhythm. You see some quarterbacks in the league just kind of get into a rhythm, and it feels like every time they step back to throw the ball, it's going to be completed. And that never happened at any point with Trey Lance. I'm not too sure if it was just, first game nerves, or if it's a problem that we're going to continue seeing from him. But he didn't have a good outing. I know before the season started, we made a video on how long it would take for Jimmy Garoppolo's name to come up. And I'm not going to start ringing the bells for Jimmy Garoppolo to come in and play, but Trey Lance didn't play good. He's going to have to play a lot better if he plans to continue being the starting quarterback for the Niners this season.
Here's the big problem. Losing this game, the schedule gets a lot harder moving forward. Yes, we got this game against Seattle, and yes, we think that they're bad, but one thing that Seattle has that we don't? A win. They actually won the Monday night game against the Denver Broncos. We lost to what we think is an inferior Bears team. So I'm not looking at this game with the same level of confidence that I was in the preseason, because winnable games suddenly start looking a little less winnable after you lost to potentially one of the worst teams in football in the Bears. I know this is going to be a growing process with Trey, but I don't know how much leeway we give him. And what I mean by that is in his development, because wasn't last year supposed to be the development year? Shouldn't this year he just be coming in ready to rock? Isn't that the whole point of making him wait a year, that when he was supposed to play, he is supposed to be ready to play? Right now, he's not looking ready to play, and that is concerning to me, because it means that we potentially fail in our strategy to set him into the offense,
Yeah, no, it is alarming. It is alarming that and give credit to the Bears defense. Their front seven was able to get, some pressure on him, and the running game never really got going. I think we've touched on it several times ever since the Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo thing started, is as long as the running game is going, it shouldn't really matter who's playing quarterback. If the running game is having success, the team should be able to be successful.
And
but
obviously you got to pin a lot of that on Elijah Mitchell getting hurt too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a huge loss. And now we're hearing that he's going to be out for at least several weeks. And, that's just an injury we couldn't afford to have. And now it's going to have to be Jeff Wilson Jr. carrying most of the load for this team. And I mean, if the running game is going to have this much of an issue against, everybody moving forward, then a lot of that is going to have to fall on Trey Lance, and he's going to have to just make plays himself, and he's going to have to make plays with his arms that we just haven't seen him make before. We
Aside,
generally don't
yeah,
know that if he could go ahead and win us a ball game like throwing the football, we don't know that yet.
there was two impressive throws. There was the one to Jawan Jennings, and then there was the one to Ayuk over the middle over a defender. The rest, though, yeah, it wasn't really like much that I really loved outside of those two throws. Running the ball, did he really excite you? Did you see any flashes of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, other running quarterbacks? Not even a Cam Newton, not even a Bruiser. And by the way, he's got to slide, man. He's got to start sliding, because if he keeps doing this thing, just running into defenders, he's going to get hurt, and it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo time anyway. And it'll be a blessing that we actually kept him, because that's concerning, his running style. Like he took too many hits that's going to be a shoulder injury. That's going to be a back injury. He twisted the wrong way. I was just kind of like gritting my teeth each and every time he got tackled or tried to escape the pocket and try and make something happen, because he would just taking these defenders on straight tackles. It was just not a good look for him.
No, yeah, and shout out to the Fox production team to actually get some of those like slow-mo, shots of him just running into defenders and getting completely just obliterated in some scenarios. And it's like,
this isn't Division II football anymore, Trey.
oh, it's not. No, it's not. You're not at North Dakota State. You're not playing Montana State and South Dakota State anymore. These are real grown men. That is Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn coming at you at full force, trying to probably injure you and get you out of the game at some point. I mean, yeah, learning to slide is actually huge for mobile quarterbacks like him. Like you mentioned, if he continues to have this type of running style, he won't make it past like week 8. I mean, it's just impossible to keep taking those type of shots week in and week out. So yeah, I would like to see him, either try to get out of bounds if he can, or even, start, give up it's okay to give up those 2 extra yards that you get whenever you slide. You know how they technically down the ball whenever you start the slide. That's okay. We can sacrifice those 2 yards to make sure our future quarterback is healthy.
I'll end it here, man. Week 2 against Seattle. Is the season already on the line?
I wouldn't go that far. I know they were the Seattle was the only team in the division that actually won a game in week 1, but I wouldn't go as far as to saying that we need to start panicking or that this is becoming a must win. Obviously, you don't want to go 0-2 against the Bears and the Seahawks, 2 teams that came into the season with a lot of people just not riding high on. That would not be a good look. But also, I wouldn't be too alarmed if we do end up going 0-2. Remember last year we started 2-4. I know it's a little bit different, but I don't want to see
going into the Rams, 0-2 going into the Broncos. I don't like it.
I know, no, of course we don't like it, but a season never ends at 0-2.
Yeah, but I think there is some statistics that would show that it gets very uneasy at that point in time. But anyway, guys, let us know what you thought of the performance against the Bears. Obviously, bad performance. I think we can all agree on that one. We want to know your frustrations, how you're feeling about it. Leave a like on the video, helps the algorithm, helps the channel. Juju here, Jose here. Stay safe, happy, healthy. We'll be back with another one, guys.